My feelings make it so unclear. Open my ears to what you hear.
Good evening, Alex Wooten here for the Lily's Chapel Church of Christ. It is a wonderful Wednesday night, and I am so grateful to be able to be bringing this message this week. This week we are on week number 7, and we're talking about goodness. Oh goodness, we're talking about goodness. I'm so excited about that because we get to talk about pineapple. In Romans chapter 12, verse 21, it is said, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil by good." If you've ever handled a pineapple, you know right away it's very tough on the outside. Looks like a dinosaur, right? Like it really does look like what a baby ankylosaurus would look like. It's armored, it's spiky. And while I have met 3 people in my life that can take a bite of it, generally speaking, you don't. You don't just bite into it. But once you get past that exterior, on the inside, you find something sweet and bright and refreshing, something worth the effort. You see, that is what goodness looks like. It's not soft. It's not naive in any way. It is strength with sweetness, family. It's about having a strong outer layer that can withstand pressure, but a heart that stays tender towards God. Like I said, the above, Romans 12:21 says, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." In other words, you cannot allow the world out there to harden you to a point where you are defined by the bitterness. You need to be like a pineapple, tough enough to stand firm in the negativity of the world, but sweet enough to be able to bless others. Let's be honest though, if you're like me, sometimes you confuse goodness with niceness. Niceness is about avoiding conflict. Goodness is about doing what is right, even when it's hard. And that brings us to our first point. Number 1, goodness is integrity. Who you are when nobody's watching. Paul's words there in Romans 12 hit a little differently when you realize he was writing to a church that was surrounded by evil, persecution, corruption, Roman politics, false gods, and his message was very clear to them. Do not let the evil around you define the goodness within you. That is integrity. Goodness isn't about something you put on when everybody is watching. It's who you are within the shadows. It's who you are when the crowd has left and gone home. Remember Joseph in the book of Genesis, sold by his brothers, dragged into Egypt, bought as a slave, falsely accused, thrown into prison. Time after time after time after time after time, all of these bad things keep happening to him. And yet, if anyone had an excuse to become bitter, it was Joseph. But he did not. He kept choosing God's way. He kept choosing God's way. Even when doing good didn't seem to pay off. When Potiphar's wife attempted to seduce him, Joseph said, "How can I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" That is integrity. He was sweet inside even when life was difficult on the outside. Let me ask you something though. I'm talking to you right there. You, right there. What does your life look like when nobody's looking at you? What kind of thoughts are you entertaining? What kind of words are you speaking in private? You see, goodness means that the inner life that we have matches our outer faith. You see, because secondly, goodness is courageous. It stands when others sit. Sometimes it's easy to think of goodness as quiet and passive, but real goodness has backbone. Joseph didn't just avoid sin. He actively chose what honored God. Even when he was falsely accused, even when he was forgotten in prison, he still served faithfully. And eventually his integrity made him second in command of all of Egypt. I've often wondered if Potiphar ever found out that Joseph was the one who became second in command, and if he ever said, "Oh man, I messed up." We don't know. That's just one of those Alex blurbs where I'm thinking, what happens now? But you see, his story reminds us that we cannot always control our circumstances. But you can control your character. Goodness isn't born out of comfort. It's born in hardship. It's forged in moments when you are tempted to compromise, but you don't. Maybe for you, it's standing for what's good and right when you're at work. Or being honest when cutting corners would be far easier. It could be forgiving somebody who's never even apologized, and they may never apologize at all. That's what it looks like to overcome evil with good. Thirdly, goodness is integrity. Goodness is courageous, but also goodness is rooted. We all know, not we both, I'm theoretically, hopefully, talking and preaching to more than just myself and someone else. But our series for the year is rooted. And goodness is rooted. It grows from God's character, not from ours. You cannot fake fruit. If the Spirit isn't growing within you, it isn't going to last. And that's why Paul says in Galatians chapter 5 that goodness is fruit of the Spirit. It's not a moral checklist. It's evidence of God being there and us being rooted within Him, deeply rooted. Think about it this way. If you cut a pineapple, and I didn't know this until I started researching, if you cut a pineapple from the plant, even as much as a day too early, it stops growing sweet, it hardens, and it's sour. But if it stays continuously connected to the vine, it will ripen naturally. Whereas the same is true for us. When we stay rooted within God's goodness, His word, His presence, His grace, we begin to be more like Him. The sweetness of Jesus shows up in the way that we talk. It shows up in the way that we serve and the way that we forgive. Psalm 34, verse 8 says, "Taste and see what the Lord has, that the Lord is good." The more we taste His goodness, the more we share it. Goodness isn't about perfection. It is about direction. It's living in a way that reflects the heart of God, family, even when life is unfair. People are cruel. And the roads, they're not always smooth. They get tough sometimes. But you see, it's about being tough on the outside and sweet on the in. So where is God calling you to stand for this week? Maybe it's making peace in a family conflict, or showing honesty in a very hard or difficult conversation. Maybe it is helping someone you actively know will not be able to repay you. Whatever it is, do it because we are rooted in God's goodness. Let us not be overcome by the evil around us. Let us overcome evil with good. One small act, one honest choice, one sweet word at a time. Find a place this week to stand for good. Not just do something nice, but something godly. Let your goodness be your quiet strength, your pineapple sweetness shining through the armor that you have. For the Lily's Chapel Church of Christ, my name is Alex Wooten. I'm the minister here, and I would love to have you here. I promise you my sermons are better in person than they are on these computer screens. I guess you can mute me on there, so maybe there's a plus there. But just know that we love you, and God bless.